Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now November 20th of 2022, and we just have only one episode of Star Wars Andor remaining until all focus is on The Bad Batch Season 2, Star Wars Ahsoka, and yes, even The Mandalorian Season 3, the three big shows for 2023, along with a handful of other announcements on the horizon as well, that will be provided by both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe between, of course, Jon, George, and Dave is that not only are they taking a lot of key aspects from Star Wars Legends, but they're also taking a lot of elements from abandoned Legends material that never saw the light of day. So we're going to be getting a lot of interesting things coming into the equation for the new Star Wars universe at hand. Now, with that being said and all, one thing that a lot of fans have been very much skeptical about is whether or not Lucasfilm is going to be able to turn things around for Star Wars. And I've always expressed my 2 cents on this, and I really do believe that Jon and Dave are going to turn things around. I'm very optimistic about that. There is no denying the fact that these guys are dedicated to their work. They're very dedicated to making the fans happy and satisfied, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day, right? It's all about just satisfying the fandom, making great content, and just sticking with the overall original vision of George Lucas. Now that brings us to what's been going on behind the scenes right now over at Lucasfilm, is that they have a lot of things that are currently in the works. However, right now, given that the Acolyte is beginning to start preliminary filming before they kickstart the main portion of filming by this December, with Favreau and Filoni actively involved in upcoming Star Wars shows, they recently got involved in an interview talking about The Mandalorian Season 4, where they eventually got on the subject about movies. Favreau and Filoni went on to state the following. Filoni started things off by saying the following. One thing that we are working on right now with Disney higher-ups, and have been for a while now, is how we can expand to making Star Wars movies using our characters in the Mandalorian verse. We want to apologize to the fans for what happened with the Book of Boba Fett and the Kenobi series, as we are very well aware of the criticism it gained, but just know that those projects were not in our full control at the time. Right now, what myself and Jon are focused on is how we can expand the Mandalorian universe into becoming Star Wars movies, and it's something that we are talking about with Disney every single day. Favreau then joined in the conversation stating the following. So yeah, that was always our game plan, to eventually have these stories expand into the cinematic sphere, really bringing these characters into high-budget blockbuster movie status, to really get these characters out there and how we can apply that to the Star Wars universe. Now, I want to stop here for a second. Now, this of course all alludes to what we have been talking about, of how there is a new quote-unquote sequel trilogy in the works over at Lucasfilm. Basically, the treatment right now is that it's going to focus on characters like Luke, Ahsoka, Din, Grogu, Kyle Katarn, Mara Jade, and a whole bunch of other Legends characters mixing in with the new and familiar, and how it's really going to involve Thrawn and a new dark side user as the two big bads. I love it. I think it's a perfect way to go. This is the best way to really kind of create new sequels, or true sequel trilogy movies in a sense, that are post Episode 6 or post Return of the Jedi content, right? And that really does give you a different perception on things. Now, Jon and Dave confirming here that these are conversations that are happening every single day with Disney executives on how they can expand the Mandoverse characters into the cinematic sphere, as what Favreau likes to call it, and how they can really use that as a tool to really make those characters all the more familiar, because let's be honest, there's still a handful of fans out there, mostly casual fans, that have not really been watching the shows, because there's a lot of casual fans out there that watch the movies in theaters strictly. You know, there's different levels of casual fans, I would say, and the bottom of the list, I would definitely say, only goes out to see the movies in theaters. and are not necessarily subscribed to Disney Plus. So they really have to reach an audience, all audience members, so to speak, to really kind of get these characters out there. And that's what John and Dave are aware of, and that is exactly what they are on the road to succeeding with. Now, the next thing that I really want to go over that I think is very crucial and imperative here, alright, is that he goes on to say, right now we are already well into the process of where we can make the movies take place in the Mandoverse, as fans like to call it, and we are so excited over the ideas that Disney is enjoying with our pitches on expanding these beloved characters, and we are finding ways to expand the stories of Din, Ahsoka, Grogu, and yes, even Luke in these new films that are being discussed right now in the early stages. What we are about to do is something that has never been done before in this franchise. So John making it openly clear that these conversations are happening every single day over at Disney, and that Disney is loving their pitches. They are very excited about making the Mandalorian characters into a new Star Wars trilogy of films, or a new sequel trilogy, if you will, whatever have you. Now, given that Favreau is the creator of the Mandalorian series, they're giving him, of course, the opportunity to become involved in these films as a co-writer, as we had discussed. They want to get main writers involved as well. But the thing here is this. As we discussed a couple days ago, is that these movies are intended to go on Disney Plus. But what, of course, Favreau and Filoni are fighting is that they want to actually bring these movies to the theaters. In Disney's defense, they don't want to make the theaters too crowded with Star Wars films every single year. But at the same exact time, they want to eventually. They want to slowly build it up to that Marvel Cinematic Universe status, is what Chapek is going for right now. They want to start off by one movie a year, again, like how we used to got it, and then they want to progress to 2 movies a year. That's what they want to do. They want to have a solo film followed by a trilogy-era film, if that makes sense, every single year. So I think that's a healthy way for Star Wars. 2 movies a year, and then you have a couple of shows on Disney Plus. I see no harm in that, as long as everything is quality-driven, as long as they are telling a very good story. It is a-okay then. You know, we have seen Marvel do this for years and years, where they have multiple movies a year, and even, of course, TV shows on the side, with no problems. You know, there was no fan fatigue or Marvel fatigue, at the time at least. I see a little bit of that right now, I will be honest, but I don't really think that Favreau and Filoni have doubts. They're going to succeed, they're going to be able to propel Star Wars in the right path. You just watch, they have that goal in mind, and even Favreau himself said that he sees Star Wars very big in just a short number of years, that it's going to reach a level that basically it's never reached before. That's what he wants. So anyways, guys, you know, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys have to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.